I'm Andy and I know containers. Born and raised in Germany, now here in Australia to help you make better container decisions. Today we are answering one of the most common questions I get. How much does a shipping container really cost in 2025? I'll show you the real price ranges here in Australia, explain how the market shifted during COVID and break down the add-ons you actually need to budget for. So let's go into it. So container prices are never fixed. They follow steel costs, supply and demand and freight rates. Before COVID, you could often buy a used 20-foot container for around 1,800 to 2,500 Australian dollars, and the new 112 40-foot high cube was around 4,500 to 5,500 Australian dollars. During the supply chain crunch in 2021, prices spiked dramatically. So, for example, a 20-foot one-trip container reached around 6,500 Australian dollars, and a 40-foot high cube container was around 10,500 Australian dollars in some cases. In 2025, prices have stabilized back to more normal levels. So nowadays are the starting prices you can expect in Australia. I'm quoting them before GST because that's how the industry normally lists them. A 20-foot used winter watertight container is from $2,200. A 20-foot one-trip container is from $3,300. A 40-foot high cube used is starting from $3,500. And a 40-foot high cube one trip is starting from $6,000 around. And remember, in Australia, you always need to add the 10% GST on top unless you're buying for export. Don't forget, on top of the container price, you need to factor in transport. In Queensland, a standard tilt tray delivery for a 20-foot container over, let's say, 100 kilometers is around $530 to $550 plus GST. For a 40-foot container, delivery is closer to $700, $750 plus GST. That's real money, and depending on how far you are from the depot, delivery can be quickly at 20 to 30% to your total bill. So let's talk about the modifications. Most new containers already come with a lockbox as standard, so you don't really need to budget for that. You should budget for real modifications, like a personal door is roughly 2,000 Australian dollars for installation. A full sliding window is around 1,100 Aussie dollars. These numbers add up quickly. 2 doors, 2 windows can easily cost more than the container itself. So when you plan your project, always think about the modifications you'll need, not just the box itself. Let's talk about the example cost breakdown. Let's say you're buying the 20-foot container in Brisbane, a used one. So the purchase price is $2,200. Delivery, 100 kilometers, is around $530. Let's add one personal door, it's about $2,000. And let's add one sliding window, it's about $1,100. Your total comes to over 6,000 Aussie dollars, including GST. That's why I always tell people, the headline price is just a starting point. The real cost comes once you add the delivery and modifications. The smartest way to protect your investment is simple. Check the condition carefully, look for rust, floor damage, and make sure the doors open and sealed properly. Work with a local supplier, not because of discounts, but because of you'll get a realistic delivery quotes and proper after-sales support. If you get those 2 things right, you'll save yourself a lot of trouble and money. So let's wrap it up. How much does a shipping container in 25 really cost? For most buyers in Australia, a 20-foot used container with basic modifications ends up with $6,000 to $7,000 all in. A one-trip 40-foot container with extras can easily punch well over $10,000 once you add doors, windows and delivery. That's the reality. And it's better to know it up front. So if you found this helpful, hit subscribe and ring the bell for more container insights every week. And check out shipping-containers.com.au for up-to-date container offers, honest advice before you buy. I'm Andy and I know containers. See you in the next one.